The only thing about...
Are we recording?
Yes, I just started.
Okay.
The only thing I don't really like about putting aloe vera on my lips to keep them from getting chapped is if I eat something within an hour, it'll have this weird taste to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've done that and forgotten that I just put aloe vera on them.
Yeah, I know.
So I think to myself, why does this food taste so weird?
It doesn't taste... Well, I mean, I don't really... the taste doesn't really bother me. It's much tastier to put coconut oil on your lips, so... But I understand what you're talking about. But have you ever tried aloe vera juice?
I keep hearing good things about it.
It's so good. Like, there were times where I would get, I don't know if, the last time I had aloe vera juice, I had it from the coast. But it doesn't mean you can't get it in stores. But what it is like there's chunks of aloe vera in the juice. And there's also chunks of, like, fruit. Like, you can get, like, a mango-flavored aloe vera juice. And the cool thing about that is not only is it healthy for you, but you can drink it on an empty stomach.
One of the many things I miss about living in Hawaii is having aloe vera that just grew, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you do with that?
Take it, the leaf, and then spread it on yourself.
Is it pretty easy to do?
It is.
Okay, because you can just cut it. You can just cut do you scrape?
You just open it with your hands, I believe.
Oh, you do? Okay.
As far as I remember.
So I heard that if you're using it on your scalp, because it's so concentrated, because it's organically from the leaf, you have to keep it in there for like, I think 20 to 30 minutes and then wash it out right away. Something like that. But if you take it at home, if there's like a store-bought gel, you can take a little bit more liberties with it because it's not so potent. Is what I've read.
That makes sense, babe.
Yes.
I want to address the elephant in the room because I'm probably going to sound a little bit off today.
Okay.
I have not been sleeping well for about the last 5 or 6 days. And last night I rested for maybe an hour. So if we get into any weird political debates, I'm probably not going to be able to hold my own.
It's probably best we don't talk about politics today.
That's good. Because of the
Yeah, and I'm very wide awake.
So you'd handle me, babe.
Yes, I would. I would have to tell you to stop recording.
Oh.
I would have to do that. Like you have to rest, okay?
And then you'd break off your belt and beat me.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, that's good, babe. I don't want to.
I may go into the kitchen and eat all the candy.
Well, we don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
That's why I came over to help with that and then do stuff to you.
This is up to me. Okay.
Fun stuff.
Oh, fun stuff. Okay.
But we don't have to get into that right now.
No, we don't.
What we might want to talk about on Sunday, I showed you 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine. We started off with The Sound of Her Voice.
Oh, that was a very interesting episode.
Do you want me to take the lead, or would you?
Yeah, why don't you take the lead for both of them? Because I think I might. I've only seen these episodes once, and there's a lot of detail.
Okay. Again, my description might be a little bit shoddy, but this is why we have the Jaylo here to help.
Okay.
They're on the Defiance. Cisco, the Federation officers, and they're heading home from some mission. Cisco is eating with Cassidy Yates when he gets a call from Worf to join them on the bridge. They heard a distress signal and realize that they're the only ones who would be able to get to this one woman in time who's stuck on this planet. It's going to take them 6 days, though. The ship starts heading in the direction to get her. O'Brien starts trying to open communications with her because they can hear what she's saying, but they can't talk back.
Right.
He's hanging out with Cassidy, working on some stuff, and then the woman who's trapped on the planet says, "I can hear you."
Yep.
They're all excited.
She's like, "Hello, hello."
Yes.
Yes.
We find out soon after that her name is Lisa, and she was a captain of a starship that was on a long range mission.
Right. Her name was Lisa Cusack.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Cisco says, we're going to be there soon. We know we're going to be cutting it close, but we're doing everything we can. Is there anything we can help you with?
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, I really want to talk with people, catch up on what's been going on in the Federation, and also just connect with people.
Yeah, because she's as far as they know, she's on the planet by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It basically goes between Cisco, Bashir, and O'Brien communicating with her.
Yep.
And having these really deep conversations.
Mm-hmm.
She's a little bit arrogant, but what Starship Captain isn't?
Yeah, and so she talks to pretty much everyone. O'Brien, well, except I don't think she talks to any of the females.
Or Worf.
But she talks to Miles O'Brien, Julian Bashir, Ben Sisko. She especially talks to Ben Sisko about his relationship with Cassidy.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love when she's saying to him, because Ben is having some issues dealing with Cassidy being on the ship.
Right.
Because she's not really acting as a civilian.
No.
I mean, she is, but she's also like a representative of the Federation.
Yeah.
I think she's like an ambassador in this episode.
It's kind of complicated because both of them are seeing each other, and he can't seem to do his work. Am I correct in saying that? He can't seem to do his work because relationship and work are kind of intertwining with each other.
Lisa makes the observation, you're not good at juggling these two things, but don't be upset because most people have issues with it.
Uh-huh. And she's telling him that you belong here, but she doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't belong here.
It's great stuff.
Yes.
Let's sidetrack from the A plot for a minute, and we are going to get back to it because some stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile,
yes.
Back at Deep Space Nine, Odo is kind of giving Quark some grief.
Yes.
Because of the way the bar is set up.
Right.
But then Nerys comes in.
Yes, Nerys comes in.
The good constable changes his tune.
Yes.
And walks away.
And he's like, Did you see how he changed when she walked in the door?
He's talking to Jake Sisko.
Yes, he is. And Jake Sisko is observing this.
Later on in the episode, Odo comes back. Quark says, did you get Kira anything for your anniversary?
And he's like, Saturday's your anniversary. He's like, oh, anniversary of it was the anniversary of our first kiss. Of their first kiss.
First date.
I'm sorry, their first date.
1 month anniversary.
1 month anniversary of their first date, yes.
He talks Odo into buying something. He leaves. It's Quark and Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Jake says, I need to research some nefarious characters for this novel I'm working on. And I love Quark's response.
Yeah.
Where he's like, nobody in this line of work thinks of themselves as nefarious. I'll let you follow me around, but none of this gets back to your father.
Yes.
Later on, we find out that the reason Quark is being so nice and giving Odo his views is because he has a criminal friend of his that he's going to make a business deal with that Saturday night.
He's trying to make a profit.
Yes.
As he does best.
Everything's going well for good old Quark. He gets Odo to agree to rent a holosuite program.
For Saturday night.
Yep. Well, hold on.
What?
Almost.
Almost.
He thinks it's for Saturday night at first, but when Odo comes in to make the final arrangements, he says
it's for Sunday.
He wants it for Sunday because their first date didn't go too well.
Yeah.
And he wants it to be a celebration of the day when they first kissed.
When they first kissed, right?
Because that went much better.
Yes.
Quark gets really upset because he can't contact his buddy and tell him, listen, the deal's off. At one point, he's down in this cargo bay with Jake, and he's saying, I was the only one on this station who knew how Odo felt about Kira, and I kept it to myself. I was there for him.
Yep, I helped him out.
Really helped him out. And what do I get for this?
Yeah.
He busts me on these regulations. He's always trying to send me to prison. I can never get one over on him. And pretty soon I'm going to go to jail.
Yeah.
They leave the room because Odo is a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
We see him more materialize and know that he overheard everything going on.
And what was he in the shape of?
I don't remember.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Later on in the episode, it's Saturday night. Odo thinks he's about to be busted. I'm sorry, Quark thinks he's about to go to jail. Odo comes in and says, I want to see that holosuite. I'm here with Nerys and we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, we decided to do it tonight.
Yes. Quark is shocked. He gives them the program. They walk towards the holosuite. Kira says, "Why are you sure you want to do this?" And Odo replies with, I owe him one.
Yeah, I owe him one. I mean...
But only one.
Only one. He's like, he decided to make a profit, but I do owe him one.
I love when she says to him, where'd you get the idea to take me to Paris for our anniversary? And Odo's just cool, calm, and he's like, some things, my dear, are meant to remain a mystery.
It's great.
Yes.
That's great. Great.
Meanwhile, back on the A-plot.
Yes.
Julian is talking to Lisa on the intercom system.
Yes, he is.
But he's kind of focusing on other things. He's not really paying that attention. And she pretends that this monster is coming up to her.
Yes.
Oh my God, what is it? No, it's getting closer. It's getting closer.
Right.
Help.
Help.
And then when Julian realized what went on, he's like,
She says, I ate her. And I didn't realize that it was her, actually.
I love
great.
that scene.
I ate her. I ate her. Yeah. She just thought, oh, I was just kidding.
Later on in the episode, presumably the next day, we hear Miles talking about some of his troubles with Lisa. And they basically go on a rant about how they like some ship's counselors as human beings. But they don't really appreciate them for what they do. Right. Bashir interrupts, starts talking to her. Presumably, after he's done, he goes to the captain and says, we got to get to her. He's injecting this chemical into her lungs to help her breathe while we're heading towards her, but she's running out of it. And
she feels, and the longer they wait... Should I mention this?
Go ahead.
The longer they wait, she is having problems breathing.
Right. She had a container of this substance. I don't remember what they called it, but it got a little bit contaminated. Now they're really up against it.
Right. Now they really have to hurry.
They get to the planet. They realize they can't beam down to the surface or beam her up because there's some interference. They have to take a shuttlecraft.
Yep.
O'Brien, Sisko, and Bashir hop in a runabout, leave the ship. They go down, try to find her. They can't find any life signs, but they know it's around the area where she would have landed. Finally, I believe it's Bashir.
Yep.
Discovers the body of Lisa.
I think so, because she's in this cave.
Yes.
By herself in a cave.
We find out that she's actually been dead for the past 3 years.
That's so weird.
And the interference from the planet is some sort of like weird time warp.
Right.
So what was happening was she was sending transmissions 3 years into the future. And when they would send messages back, it would go through the time warp and she'd hear it.
And so they decided after finding her, they wanted to give her a proper burial back on DS9.
Which was great.
Yes.
Miles gives an excellent speech.
Yes.
He says something to the effect of, I never knew her.
Never shook her hand, never saw her face.
But we laughed together, we cried together, and I considered Lisa Cusack a friend.
Yep.
She's not the only one I've lost during this war. And one day I know we've all grown apart, but one day we're going to look around the circle of friends and realize that some of us are missing.
Yep.
And we were going to wish that we would have spent more time together.
And he said something like, he said something to the effect of, I need you all in my life. Something like that.
We're paraphrasing it a little bit.
I need to be with you all. You are my friends, basically.
Yes. And that's how the episode ends. That speech gave me chills. Yeah. It always does when I see it.
Great speech.
So we've summed up the episode, babes.
Yes.
Give me your thoughts. So let me just say, I consider this episode to be a classic.
This is really good.
DS9.
How and I kind of made this observation about chat lines. Now, I'll just say this without giving too much away, and I won't really talk about my own life outside this thing, but I'll just say that on chat lines, people listen to voices. It's slightly different than being online, but you hear a person's voice and you already make assumptions about this person, whether they're good looking, whether they're skinny, tall, short, fat, big, you know how it is. Mm-hmm. Ugly, whatever, wealthy, poor, you name it. But how many times have people made assumptions about people's voices, and all they hear is their voice? They can't see their face, they can't see their bodies. It's just a voice, right? What can it really do? But I think about that and I'm like, that doesn't take the place of real relationship. Can you have a relationship with a voice? The only way you can do that is if you actually meet the person. But if you can't do that, you kind of work with what you got. But nothing takes the place of a real relationship with somebody, a friendship, I think.
What does Lisa tell us about online friendships then?
I suppose it can work. It just, you gotta work harder at it because they're not with you and you don't know if you're going to see them. It's almost like pen pals to me. It almost reminds me of somebody having a pen pal, and I never had a pen pal, but you know what I mean? They write letters or they correspond via email to each other, or they correspond by telephone, and they kind of they have this rapport, whatever that rapport is, whatever that relationship is for what they can have because they're not in person with each other. Does that make sense?
It does.
But like I said, as always, nothing takes the place of face-to-face interaction.
I want to get your thoughts about the journey home. Because once they get Lisa's body, mm-hmm. we know that it's about 6 days at maximum warp back to the space station.
That sounds like a long time.
Yes.
Even if it is maximum warp.
But what do you think goes through the crew's mind as they're heading home? How do you think Cisco processes this and O'Brien?
That's a good question. I'm wondering if they're thinking, wow, I can't believe we took home a dead body. We were hoping to take home a live person and actually be friends with her in person.
But not only that, mm-hmm. they were talking to a dead woman, essentially.
Right. I would imagine that they were flabbergasted. Like, how in the world could she have been talking to us even though she died 3 years later, or 3 years before?
What do you think this episode says about family? The reason I bring it up.
Yes.
Julian likes Lisa Cusack, but, he's Julian. He's kind of smug.
Yeah, he's kind of in his own little world, I guess.
He's probably hoping to get some action, so he's a little bit sad that that's not going to happen.
He's got girls on his mind, yeah, right. Of course.
Miles and Cisco really connect with her.
Yeah.
But Ben has a son.
And Miles has a daughter. And
two kids.
Two kids.
And a loving wife at home.
Right. And she said that she hates children.
Good for her. But my question is for you,
Oh,
Jaylo.
come on.
My question is for you.
Come on. Go on.
What does this episode say about the strength of family? because this is a huge loss. But Cisco and O'Brien have people to help them process this experience.
Well, I kind of think about, and I'm kind of thinking about how this relates to what we're going through now. A lot of people are in isolation. A lot of people can't see their friends right now, especially children. And a lot of people are not in the same states as their family, right? And I think in general, after hearing Miles' speech, at least for me anyway, you start to appreciate what you had before this happened. You got to see your friends like maybe every week. You were able to, people would be able to go back and forth to see their families when they could, because traveling was still available. I mean, people still travel, but it's very, very scarce. It seems like, and I think after hearing Miles' speech, I just seem to feel more appreciative of what I had and what I want. If that makes any sense at all.
It does, because they're going through a war.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going through a pandemic.
Right.
And oftentimes I think to myself, in some ways I'm closer to my friends, and in other ways we become more distant because of this.
But like I've said earlier this morning, thinking about how many things have been stripped away from us right now in the last 7 months. You either appreciate it or you don't appreciate it. You either appreciate big crowds or you don't appreciate big crowds. You either appreciate social media or you don't appreciate it as much as you didn't appreciate it before this happened. You appreciate family, friends, parties, vacations more than you ever have appreciated them. And it really makes you think about it.
I've definitely been using social media a lot more since the pandemic started.
Right. Me, not so much.
No.
I'm not on social media at all.
I love that you're not on Facebook.
No, no, I don't want to be on Facebook. I think it's overrated. I do think it can be used for good, but I also don't think that there is a whole lot of good in it. However, people
need what they need.
People like what they like, and I'm not going to tell anyone to stop being on it, but I won't.
I also think during this time, some people need social media because they're so distant. Like, it's not good long term, but this is a very unique situation we're in.
Right.
I want to get back to this episode.
Okay.
Miles gives that speech, and he goes off.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see this, but presumably he ends up at his quarters at the end of that day.
Okay.
With Keiko.
And the two kids. Yeah, presumably, yeah.
The kids hang out with him. They go to bed. Keiko and Miles go into the bedroom. They lay down. Does Miles cry to Keiko, in your opinion? And if so, how does she deal with it? Or is he stoic and she feels that she can't reach him?
I would like to think that he would cry to Keiko and say, I love you and the kids, and I appreciate you all more because I was gone.
And he saw the death of somebody.
Yes. And that really, really must have touched him very, very deeply.
He didn't see her die, but he experienced it.
And found her, yeah. They found her dead, yeah. Sad.
I've talked to you before about how Starfleet is another word for the military.
Yes.
Growing up in a military family, since Miles is really the only one raising kids,
yeah.
Do you look at Miles differently from other characters because your dad was in the military?
I think so. I never thought of that, but I really think so. Yes.
Would you care to elaborate?
I mean, so my dad wasn't gone a whole lot. But when he was on duty, he would be gone from June to December. And for the time that he would be gone, my mom would be taking care of my sisters and I, the three of us. And, I can only imagine how a wife of a military man is, because if they're taking care of the kids, they're still lonely because their husband isn't home. And they have to hold down the fort until he comes back. Well, he would only be gone for 6 months, even though 6 months seemed a long time to like an 8 or 9-year-old. And we would take a day off of school around Christmas time to watch our dads come in on the ship. It was an honor. I mean, I thought it was. And just how excited the kids got. And, and then they would have like a Santa Claus that would give out gifts. And, it would give stuff to the kids because it was around Christmas time. And I just thought it was really special to actually see my dad come home.
Let me ask you another question.
Yes.
Getting back to the episode.
Okay.
Even though she's not in it, presumably she helps Miles. What does Keiko teach us about military wives, if anything?
I mean, I don't know much about Keiko, but it sounds like she's a pretty strong lady. I don't know much about her. I mean, I've only remember seeing a few episodes of her, and I know that she's been on like an archaeological dig or something.
She goes on a lot of those to get away from the kids, it seems like. And then maybe cheat on Miles. How
do you know she's cheating on Miles?
I don't know if she is or isn't.
Come on now, it's Keiko. We don't know anything. We don't actually know a whole lot about Keiko, do we?
No, we don't.
So I'm presuming that she's a strong lady. I mean, Miles had to be strong when he was with the kids and she would go on her archaeological digs.
Sometimes she takes Molly with her, though.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Did she?
She has in the past. Okay. Remember that episode where she comes back and she's pregnant and Molly's with her?
Yes, Molly's with her, yeah.
I have a
bottle. I have a bottle.
Not out here, in there.
Not out here, in there. Oh, that's right. That was one episode, though.
I know, but she's taken her away for a while to go.
Yeah, she has.
Digging around planning.
So maybe she's taken Molly with her that one time, but I don't know. It sounds to me like she's a strong woman. I mean, think about this though. When shall we talk about Kira yeah, we did. Kira when Kira was taking care of carrying their baby, right?
Yes.
I mean, she was so secure. She was willing to let Miles help her in whatever she could. And then when Kiara was going to go to see Shakar, she actually let Miles go with her. And Miles said, no, you know what? I'm going to let you go by yourself because I don't want anything weird to happen between us. So I'm just
looked like if he had gone, they would have hooked up.
He would have cheated on Keiko if given the right circumstances. And I'm thankful that he said, you know what? No, I better go back to my family before something really happens.
I am too. Having said that, it would have been kind of fun to see how that whole thing would have played out.
No, I don't think so. Well, because if you believe that Starfleet is like our military, right?
Yes.
If a military man was found out to have cheated on his wife, and it got out, that would be a scandal.
In that community?
I believe so, or something to that effect.
But it might have been interesting if it was a scandal on the space station, though.
I don't know.
Like Cisco finds out through Quark. Rom takes bets on who's going to get fired.
Quark and Rom takes bets.
Correct. I'm sleepy today, so bit of it off the edge.
That would be good. Yes. No. I personally was happy with the way that Miles handled it. I mean, I think if the military personnel did do something behind his wife's back to dishonor her and his family, I would imagine that he would suffer consequences. At least that's what I think. I mean, I may be completely wrong about that, so don't quote me on it. But I would imagine that they hold those men to a high standard.
I know we're going off on this huge tangent.
Yeah.
Away from the episode.
That's
but
okay.
Miles talks about how he doesn't like counselors in this episode. And we know from Hard Time that he had an issue with seeing a shrink.
Yeah.
Is Miles in touch with his feelings?
I don't think he's completely over it. I mean, I know that it hasn't come up, but I don't think he's completely come to grips with it.
Let me rephrase the question.
Yeah, I think you should. Go on.
Molly is... Let's play a what-if game.
Yeah.
Okay. Molly's now an adult. Her parents are either old or they've passed away.
Yeah.
She's talking with somebody about her dad. Does she say, my dad was a great dad and he was always there? Or does she say, my dad did the best he could. He was a little bit distant. And I think he had some issues. He didn't really know how to cope with all the things that came up in Starfleet. What does she say?
It goes either. I think it could go either way. He could have been there for her, but he also could have been distant and tried whatever he could, tried the best he could to raise his kids. So it could have gone either way. And that incident with Molly was just a slip up that never happened again.
As far as we know.
As far as we know. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could go either way, really.
Do you think Miles is prone to outbursts around the family? I mean, he seems like a good family man.
I don't know.
But as he gets older, and the kids get, develop more personality.
It's hard to say. Because we probably will never know that. It's hard to say.
Yes.
We can only speculate that maybe he may be prone to outbursts, but maybe he didn't have another one except for that one time, but he doesn't know how to deal with his feelings in a healthy way yet. Or he's trying to figure it out.
True.
So I don't know. I mean, it could go either way.
Let's go into the B plot of this episode a little bit.
Okay. Which part?
Everything with the B plot.
Everything, okay.
I want to start with Jake and Quark. What do you think of Jake approaching our favorite bartender about this? And saying he wants to profile him.
He wants to be a reporter. I don't know. I thought it was odd.
It's not that he wants to be... He does.
Or he wants to report on it, yeah.
He wants to do a story about a nefarious character.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what I think about that. It seems to me, and this is just my opinion, that Jake is trying to, trying to find his way, I guess.
I think he has the confidence of youth.
Yes.
And sometimes that's arrogance.
Yeah. I think he means well, though. But he's not an experienced reporter yet.
Or writer.
Or, I'm sorry, he's not an experienced writer yet. So he's trying to check things out. He's trying to find his way, as a young teenager would.
I think by now he's like 19, but I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that's how we were in our early 20s and late teens. We're trying to figure out our lives. We're trying to navigate through this whole thing and make it out in one piece.
Why does Quark agree to let Jake follow him? Because if you notice, there's no negotiation about money.
No, there isn't. Maybe because even though Quark can be kind of manipulative, right? As far as money goes, he's always wanting to make a profit. Maybe he just wants to take Jake under his wing and teach him a little something about becoming an adult.
It could be partially that.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that may be part of the reason, but other contributing factors might have to do with he's seen Jake grow up.
Yeah.
Jake's best friend is Nog.
Yep,
right?
That's his nephew. Yep, that's right.
And Jake is also the son of the emissary.
Right.
So while Quark knows that Jake isn't going to spill the beans about this stuff,
right. Exactly.
He's also aware of, if I'm good to this kid, he might put in a nice
He might do
word
something for me, yeah.
to my dad.
To his dad, yeah. He might put in a nice word to the captain.
Mm-hmm.
So I better be nice to him. You could be right about that.
How much of this deal does Quark let Jake see? So in my mind, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I think he lets him see everything up until the actual exchange.
I would agree.
So he may let Jake go down to the cargo bay, but he makes him wait outside. And just gives him a brief synopsis. Because he knows that if he lets him see too much...
He's going to tell his dad.
He might tell his dad, even though he said that he wouldn't.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, I would.
Talk to me about Odo.
I have a lot to say about that.
Go ahead.
Well, first off, let me just say that I have never celebrated a 1-month anniversary with a guy. That's just weird.
Neither is Odo.
Neither is... Or with a girl. Not a guy. I think... We don't know how many relationships Odo has been in, and he probably hasn't been in a lot.
I'm guessing that Kira's only his third lover.
Because there was Arissa.
There's the other shapeshifter.
Well, that's not... I wouldn't consider her...
No, they had sex.
Oh.
They showed it. They didn't show it, but they showed them afterwards. And she said, this is how solids
This is how solids connect?
Yes.
Ew. It's a little weird.
They keep going on the constable.
Okay, I don't think I would really consider the founder one of his lovers. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, it just seems like he's been very clueless up until now about how to be in an adult relationship. And Kira is the first real relationship he's been in. At least the most real, well, maybe I shouldn't say meaningful relationship, because he was in love with Arissa at one time. But
so it was meaningful to him.
It was meaningful to him. And maybe it was meaningful to her, but I think it was more meaningful to him. But now he's in a relationship where it's meaningful to him and to Kira.
Right.
Now he has to not just deal with himself, but also how can I make this relationship better for Kira? It's not just him anymore figuring this out. Now it's the both of them.
I want to explore what he does for Quark.
Yes.
Is it because he owes him one?
Maybe. I think so. Well, I mean, he did listen to all the times where Odo would be talking about Kira and trying to give him advice, even in a strange way, you know. But I think so. Yeah.
You buy that?
Yes, I do. What do you think? Do you have a theory?
I don't have a theory as much as I've thought of a lot of different possibilities. The surface level may be true. Mm-hmm. I've also considered that maybe he lets Quark get away with it.
Yeah.
So that Quark feels more comfortable down the line and he could catch him on something else. Or perhaps Odo lets the situation unfold because he keeps track of things, so he knows who Quark's associates are.
Yeah.
And he might be able to give somebody else a helping hand in an investigation later on. Mm-hmm. Into Quark's buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't. But I do buy the idea that he owes him one because Quark helped him through the Kira situation.
And that was fun to watch.
It was. You remember that one episode where Odo was trying to get advice from Quark and he's like, and I actually thought that you were my friend. And he goes, nah. What a butthead. Oh my goodness. You just never know with Quark. But I really do think that Quark really genuinely cares about Odo.
No, he does, but Odo hates him.
And Quark just has a weird way of showing it.
The Quark said he cares for Odo.
He does.
He considers him a friend.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he actually likes him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Quark's a people person, so it makes sense.
He is. He just handles it really weird.
Yes.
He's a people person. He will hang out with you as long as he can make a profit out of you.
Yeah, but he also wants to have fun. Too.
Yeah, he does.
So overall,
yeah,
would you agree with my assessment that this is a classic episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would.
Good.
A very interesting and sad episode, but very classic.
Would you? Well.
Yes.
It makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm.
When people say they hear voices in their head, what does that mean? Are they hearing voices from a different dimension or time that just happen to connect with the same frequency that these people's brains are operating on?
Well, I'd like to understand that with schizophrenia patients, right? Because a person like myself and you, we don't have schizophrenia, right? And it's like it sounds to me like it's like a severe neurological disorder. And I can only imagine what they sound like, because some people say that the voices are actually animals talking to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a little bit strange, but I don't know.
Something I was thinking about this week, babe, when I was trying to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I've ever said anything and a being from another dimension has heard it and been inspired to do something weird because of the sound of my voice. Do you ever think about that?
No.
Okay. I
think it's a little too far-fetched even for you.
Uh-oh.
You've been watching too much sci-fi stuff. I love you, but come on.
Oh, give me a kiss.
You are a total sci-fi nerd.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I've known sci-fi nerds that wouldn't even go there with the voices.
I don't know, babes.
Well, I mean, for all I know, I could be a voice in your head telling you to do all these weird stuff.
It's possible.
I don't think so.
I had a friend tell me once. So I know you don't meditate, but
yes,
oftentimes you'll have these really weird visions during meditation.
Yeah, that sounds a little creepy, but okay.
It's interesting, but anyways, a friend told me, well, we assume that aliens would bring a spaceship and come here and communicate with us that way.
Or kidnap people.
Right.
Or supposedly, yeah.
But what if they did it through meditation and they communicated with us through imagery?
That's so weird. But then, people say your mind can play tricks on you. It could just be a complete mind thing.
That's possible.
And you could be playing mind games with yourself. Mind games.
With yourself.
No, Mind Games is a song that John Lennon wrote, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Mind Games.
I've been listening to a lot of Leonard Cohen this week.
Yes.
Partially because he had a song in Pump Up the Volume.
Yes.
And also I'm trying to learn how to play Hallelujah on guitar.
Yes.
This morning, I played you the Jeff Buckley version of Hallelujah.
It just sounds so sad. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. It just sounds very sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good stuff, though, Jaylo.
It is, but that song is just, that's just a great, great song. A lot of people have done adaptations to it, added to it, taken away from it. It's a good song, and I don't know if Leonard Cohen was still alive. I don't know if he could have, in his wildest dreams, that song would just explode.
I don't know, babes.
I know either.
Yes. Jaylo?
Yes.
I showed you the season 6 finale of Deep Space Nine.
Oh my goodness.
What did you think there, babe?
Well, in general, it was heart-wrenching and heartbreaking.
Do you want me to give a brief overview?
Yes.
And again, I'm feeling the weight of not sleeping even more than I was earlier.
Oh my goodness.
So we're going to this is not going to be my typical, we give everything away. And feel free to inject commentary when necessary.
Sure.
Because you might have to.
Okay.
It starts off... Sisko is getting an award. This is after... And then they basically say, okay, we're going to have you lead a fleet to invade Cardassia.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I should say, right before then, Quark and Bashir are waiting at his bar as Dax and Worf leave the holosuite.
Right.
We find out...
They're trying to have a baby.
Exactly. Which is kind of difficult because their DNA doesn't really go together that well.
Right.
And this is a theme throughout the episode.
Yes.
So now going back to Sisko, he opens negotiations with the Romulans and the Klingons. They're already on the same team, but he wants to get them to join him in the invasion of Cardassia.
Right.
While this is going on, Gul Dukat finds his way back to Central Commands.
Yep.
Where Wei Yun, your best friend, the one who you confess everything to.
That's funny, Bubs. That's funny.
But,
yeah, just like Dukat's my best friend, too.
No. Wei Yun's your best friend, but that's only because he thinks I'm a god.
No, I think Jake's my best friend.
Okay. Why you have... And Damar...
Your best friend.
My buddy Damar, who I like to, go... We used to hang out in the club a lot before I met Jaylo. We used to go to the strip club. Have a good time, but I'm not allowed to talk about those days anymore.
Damar's not even real. Go on.
Okay. But they were talking. Dukat walks in, and he says, I'm here to give you Bajor and all that stuff. And I know Sisko's planning to do an attack, but I want to give you Bajor.
Right.
And I know how to do it. I just require these orbs.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Go back to Sisko. He falls asleep, and he basically has a vision from the prophets, and they tell him to stay with Bajor.
You can't go to war. Oh, you can't go to Cardassia. You have to stay back.
He tells this to Admiral Ross, and Ross just kind of puts his foot down and says, "Listen, dude, I've been very tolerant of this whole you being the emissary bullshit for the last 6 years, but I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, Ben. You either got to decide you're joining us and fighting Cardassia, or leave the Federation and be a spiritual leader.
Right.
But you have to make a decision now.
It's either be the emissary or the Federation. Yeah.
Sisko agrees with the Admiral.
Yeah.
That he's a Starfleet officer first.
Right.
So he leads his fleet. They don't go to Cardassia. They ended up going to this moon. Because they were producing something very special.
Right.
And there's a huge fight. They eventually win. But before they won, Dukat got a hold of this orb and got super powerful. He beams into the station while Dax is in the Bajoran shrine.
Oh, that's right. She Oh, I have to mention something here.
Absolutely.
She goes to Bashir. I forgot what part of it's somewhere in the middle of the episode.
I think it was right before the rest of the crew left to go to war.
And he finds out, oh, guess what? It is possible for Trills and Klingons to have children.
If I remember correctly, what he says was, your body is starting to respond to the treatments.
Yep. Yeah, because he, if I remember correctly, he gave her treatments so that she could be able to get pregnant. And
Major Kira had just told her, hey, I was praying for you and Worf to have a baby when I was at a temple or shrine or whatever they call it.
It's a temple.
Yes, when I was at temple this morning. So, y'all better get on it.
Yeah,
where the prayers are still hot.
She decides to go.
Yes, to the temple.
Right.
She's praying. Gul Dukat beams into the temple, basically kills her. He stands
Yeah,
over the
that was-
body and he says, "If it's any consolation, my dear."
I didn't mean to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't meant. This wasn't supposed to happen. Pretty much.
But your death will help you meet Ted Danson.
Huh?
When Terry Farrell left the show, I believe she went immediately to work on Becker.
Who did she play on Becker? Oh wait,
She ran
played,
a bar.
She played no.
No, she ran a bar on the show.
Do you know what her name was?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it enough. It was good, but
Okay, I have to look it up then.
it had a blind character, and you know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I think I did remember seeing it, and I remember that Becker was this like crotchety guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways,
Anywho.
you're not going to meet Sam Malone, Ted Danson. You're going to meet the Becker, Ted Danson. But you still get to meet Ted Danson, so get an autograph, babe. That's what he said to her.
That would be funny if that was in there.
Yes.
Good luck on your bar thing. She's not really dead. She's in a bar.
Right. With Ted Danson, but it's not what you think. He's not working at the bar. He's just goes there.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? If that was a way to actually do like a crossover episode?
Here's what they could do.
Yeah.
So she dies.
Yeah.
And the last scene of the episode, we'll get back to the real episode
Yes.
in a minute. But the last scene of the episode is Dax saying, "Am I in heaven?" And somebody says, "No, you're supposed to be here." She responds with, "What do you mean? Be here behind the spar. Get over here. Your ship's about to start." Take off that weird uniform that you're wearing and put this on. She goes behind the bar and Ted Danson walks in and asks for a beer.
Oh, that would be great.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
But I'm glad that they did not do it that way.
No.
Okay, so Cisco and the Defiant get back to the station.
Yep.
They find out that Dax is dead.
Everybody's there.
By this time, Dukat has gotten away.
Yep.
He's really upset.
Yep.
And he realizes that he should have stayed at the station. But he didn't.
And everybody's standing over her, including Julian and Quark. Kira was there too, is that right?
I don't remember. I'm going to say yes for the sake of it.
Okay. Well, everybody was pretty heartbroken, and Worf did kind of like a Klingon cry. And said a prayer, because I guess there's a way that a way that Klingons mourn for their loved ones.
Yes.
But before he did that, she had enough strength to be alive long enough to tell Worf, if we had a baby, our baby would be beautiful.
Right.
And then she dies in his arms.
Right.
And he does the cry. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
If Worf was real, how heartbroken he was to witness his wife die in his arms.
Yeah, that
His
sucks.
new wife.
They
by
just
the
got married.
They just got married.
He didn't even have a chance to cheat.
Oh, Bubs.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, he was excited to meet Lisa Cusack in the previous episode.
No, but he
didn't
never
say anything because, you know, if it would have been Jadji and not been at the funeral, he'd have been like,
Oh, you're
I
awake.
was planning to make her my
You're awake.
mistress.
You're awake for that, aren't you?
Awake. All right, babes.
Trying to keep you awake here.
Okay, good. Cisco decides that he needs to get away and go back to Earth.
Far away.
He takes a leave of absence,
He takes Jake with him.
tells the crew that he loves them, and Worf that we're going to get you somebody to have sex with, but hold tight, buddy.
Oh my goodness. No. Basically, they ask him, well, Captain, when are you coming back? He says, I'm not sure. At the end of the episode, Jake and him are at his father's restaurant,
Yes.
and he's cleaning up and he's washing dishes. Or
He's washing something.
he's washing something, yes.
right outside the restaurant, like in this alleyway.
Right.
Right before that scene, Kira goes into his office with Odo and says, "Oh, this is bad." Mm-hmm. He took his baseball.
Yeah, he did. She said, Oh, he's probably going to be gone for a long time because he took his baseball.
He might never come back.
He may never come back. We'll have to see.
Yes. What did you think of this episode, Jaylo?
Well, this was a very, very shocking episode because a major character went bye-bye in the worst way. I don't know. It's just very odd. It is odd to know that Dax is no longer there and can't give any Klingon advice or any other advice when it comes to the technical stuff, because she's like super, super smart. She was super smart.
What does Dax teach about living life to the fullest?
I think she
was this on my crotch.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I have no problem with that, babe. Not like you were kicking.
Oh, no. I was just resting my legs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, keep going.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No
need to apologize there, Jay. Whoa.
She lived life to the fullest. I mean, she was the one that was trying to get Worf to loosen up a little bit. You know, she had that crazy engagement party, and her and Kira were like best friends, and they would go into the hollow suite and do all these weird programs, and you know, she knew how to have fun. She was super smart, super intelligent, but she wasn't serious all the time. And I really admired her about that. I admired her for that, rather.
What do you think happens to Worf as a result of this? Does he embrace life because he knows that that's what Jadzia would want, or does he retreat more into himself and cut himself off completely from Alexander?
Well, I would hope that he would learn from Jadzia, because she tried to teach him how to connect with things and other people, and have fun doing it, and to open up his heart a little bit. And I hope that he remembers that, and I hope he's not so closed off, because he really is closed off. He's very serious.
Yes.
You know how I'm guessing he doesn't talk like that in interviews.
No.
But it's funny, though. You know, he kind of talks like this. Matter of fact.
In the beginning of the episode,
very good. Yes,
when Worf and her talk about having a baby,
mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's a sign that Worf sees Alexander as a disappointment?
I don't think so. To me, it seemed like he didn't want everybody to know yet that they were thinking about having a baby.
No, I know that, but I mean, we don't see it on camera, and we don't know his motivations for saying he wants to have a kid with her.
Yeah.
But do you think he sees Alexander as a disappointment, and that's why he wants to have a baby? So he can raise somebody the correct way.
I don't know that he sees Alexander as a disappointment, or rather he's disappointed in himself. Because, yeah, you can say your child's a disappointment, but a lot of it falls on the parent. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah. So maybe he's not disappointed with Alexander. He's just disappointed with the fact that he didn't give him enough attention that he should have. And if he did, he would have been a much better warrior. But now they have to make up for lost time, and I think now that she's gone, it's a time for them to make up for lost time.
But
even better.
My dear.
Yes.
Alexander got transferred onto another Klingon ship.
Oh.
So he's no longer under the command of General Martok.
Oh.
I mean, I guess he is in a sense because Martok is like the top military dude.
Oh, that's right.
But he's not directly under his command.
Oh, that's right. You are right about that. Yeah. I forgot about that too. Well, interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
You think Worf loves Alexander, though?
I think he does, but he doesn't know how to show it. As you said before, some people love, some people love differently, but they don't know how to, they don't always know how to show it.
I want to go back to O'Brien, even though he's not prominent in this episode.
O'Brien.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We talked about him earlier.
Yeah.
Interesting guy, but he has some issues.
Yes, he does.
We know that he considers Worf a friend.
Yes.
And we are led to believe that is because they served on the Enterprise.
Yes.
But I'm curious, Jaylo.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think another reason that O'Brien considers Worf to be a comrade is because he sees another wounded soul?
Possible. Very, very possible. I don't know. It's possible that because they both have kids that, Miles feels closer to Worf. That's what I think.
Very
And Cisco.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Sisko's also his commanding officer.
He is, but they are close to each other though.
Yeah, but he can't just go to the captain's quarters unannounced.
That's true. I mean, yeah, that is true. But you know what I mean.
Cassidy might kick him out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But no. I mean, yeah, it's possible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Great episodes of Babes.
That's right.
We got some interesting stuff coming up.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Vic Fontaine's coming back, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he is, Jaylo.
Yay! I like him. I really do. He's like the super coolest hologram.
There are some great episodes with Vic in the 7th season.
Super coolest hologram ever. Yes. If ever there were a coolest hologram. And I am not a sci-fi nerd, but it's a big thing for me to say that something is a real coolest the coolest hologram. So it's a big thing for me.
I know that you have been enjoying DS9, or at the very least pretending to enjoy it for my sake.
No, I'm not. I really like it.
Oh, good.
I really like what I've seen. I mean, I know that I haven't seen every single episode, but I still like it.
Does watching the show make you want to continue exploring sci-fi after we finish this experience?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure, actually. Some people are into it, like really, really into it, and some people aren't. I don't know.
I would consider myself a casual sci-fi fan, but a big Star Trek fan, if that makes any sense.
Oh, I get it. You're a super Trekkie.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that Star Trek is my favorite thing in sci-fi. Mm-hmm. But having said that, there are other things that I enjoy in the genre as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's weird that I never got into Star Wars. Like, I saw a couple of the movies in the theaters.
Yeah.
And I thought that they were good popcorn movies.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've watched any of them twice.
Well, like I said, I mean, I know you think it's weird, but I knew someone that both liked Star Trek and Star Wars, and he said that it was unheard of. It's unheard of because you're either a Star Wars fan or a Star Trek fan, and you couldn't be both. But he was one of those people. I think he was even a more of a sci-fi nerd than you are.
Oh.
But I digress.
Yes. He probably doesn't know how to pick up women, but keep going.
He's married.
Okay.
He's been married for a long time.
You know somebody who I've heard of.
Yes.
And this person is, I don't know what I can say, allegedly kind of crazy. She says that she's seeing somebody who's like from the future.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming that this is the same person that that you and a couple of the people have mentioned, or whatever.
So before I dated Alana, and I'm not going to go too deep into ex-girlfriends.
Better not.
Right. I had an ex-girlfriend who knew this lady, and a friend of my ex-girlfriend who also knows Alana knows this lady too. So I've heard stories that this lady says that she's dating somebody who will be born in like 300 years.
And I thought to myself, that might actually be the same person I know.
Yes.
And I don't even know her very well, but she's a little bit strange. She's nice. She's very nice, but she was a little bit strange. I think it might be the same person.
It's likely it is.
It's very likely. If it's in the blind community, it's very likely.
Yes.
The blind community is is small.
Yes, it is.
It's definitely a small community after all.
Suffice it to say, the reason I bring her up is because just from hearing about her, she strikes me as somebody who's probably a fan of both Star Trek and Star Wars.
As far as I know, if it's the same lady, she's more of a fan of Star Wars. I think she's a Star Wars fan, period.
The crazy ones always are.
Hey,
No, I'm joking.
wait a
I'm
second.
joking, babes. But you should hook her up with your buddy.
No, he's married.
Not to her, though.
He's an old guy.
Okay, good.
We're not even friends anymore.
Okay, good.
He just turned, he's old.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say anymore. Otherwise, I'm gonna say something I'll regret. But we're not even friends anymore, and he's got a family already.
Good.
He's married. He's got grandkids.
I'm happy for him and his grandkids.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a very normal.
Although there was this, so if this is the same girl.
Go ahead.
I remember going to said Christmas party. This was like back in.
Don't give too much information out.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't. You didn't even hear what I was going to say it.
Do your thing.
I went to said Christmas party in 2007. It was at the Outback Steakhouse, and the same lady that I'm thinking about had a roommate. I won't even mention his name. Let me think. I was 27. He was 10 years my senior, and they were roommates. It would be very odd if they went out together, which I don't think that they did or have. It's kind of strange, but and he was a sighted guy. He seemed like a nice guy, though. Mm. He seemed like he had an interesting sense of humor.
But you don't get Star Wars either.
I never said that.
I mean, I
enjoy watching Star Wars.
Okay.
Like, I remember my earliest memories of Star Wars was watching The Return of the Jedi in the 80s. Like, in the early 80s when that was huge. And I thought to myself that I could easily get into Star Wars, but Star Trek seems a little complicated.
And now you're into Star Trek.
But that's just me. I mean, I could enjoy both of them without getting, like, super into any of them.
Yeah, to be clear, I enjoy Star Wars, but I don't really know.
But you don't get the obsession, is that what you mean?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't really know too much about it. I can watch it as a popcorn movie, but I don't go into the mythology like I do Star Trek.
I think I enjoy Star Wars slightly more than Star Trek, because
really?
Star Trek seems a little complicated, even though they've got like some really cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
But Star Wars doesn't seem as complicated to me.
You might be correct with that.
And the music score, I mean, despite what
I will say this, I do like the music from Star Wars.
The music score from both genres of sci-fi is really good. Really good.
There was some good music in Star Wars. You can't not like that theme. I guess you could, but I...
By the way,
go ahead.
The first two notes of the Star Wars theme, that's a perfect fifth.
Really?
Yes, it is.
I thought...
Yeah,
I always assumed a bottle of vodka was a perfect fifth.
No.
I'm just shocking at you.
No. The first two notes make the interval, so the first two notes of that song make a perfect fifth interval.
Very nice.
Right. So, because you were talking about knowing what a perfect fifth is, that is a good example of what a perfect fifth is.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
A little bit of music, theory in here, okay? Okay. So now you never have to wonder what a perfect fifth is.
Just watch Star Wars. Or listen to
the theme song. Yeah. Da, da. There you go, perfect fifth.
Very nice. Very nice. I had this friend in school. I don't know if this is true, but he said that he was related to Billy D. Williams, who I think plays Lando in the Star Wars movies.
Billy D. Williams?
Yeah.
The great Billy D. Williams.
I guess he's the great Billy D. Williams.
Or the actor. I don't know too much about his stuff. Are you sure it's Billy D. Williams?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think I responded by saying, "Oh yeah, he was just arrested for spousal abuse."
What?
Because I think I had heard something like that on a hard copy.
Billy D. Williams?
Yeah, and I don't know if that is even true, but I just...
I had fun watching... I did have fun watching hard copy.
Right, but some
Whether
of,
they were true or
some
not,
of their stories were a little bit suspect. I wouldn't say because I heard it on there that it was true, but I told my friend that. I was like, oh yeah, he was just arrested for spousal abuse. Yeah. We might have to go down in jail and see him. And he just got really upset.
What? What? Were you in elementary school?
No, I was in 7th or 8th grade. 7th grade.
Oh my goodness.
First I said, who?
Uh-huh.
And so he's going down all of his acting credits, and then I said, oh yeah, that's the guy who just got arrested for spousal abuse. Or domestic violence or whatever it was.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing? Oh my goodness.
If you're listening, Billy D. Williams, I don't know if you're guilty. I was just saying that to a friend. I'm sure you're a great guy.
Yeah, I'm sure you're all right.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he was in. I mean, I don't know much of his stuff.
I don't either.
Well,
I think he played Harvey Dent in the first Batman movie, the one with Michael Keaton.
oh, okay.
But he was only in 1 or 2 scenes in that movie.
So your friend said that he was his uncle, or
He was related to him somehow.
his cousin or something?
Something like that. I forget how.
Wow,
But yeah.
crazy.
Yes. Yes, but it was.
Yes.
And then I remember we used to have parents volunteer at that school.
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't say anymore.
Oh.
I'm not going to go there, but...
You're not? Okay, tell me after the thing.
I'll tell you after the thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay there, gee, whoa.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta tell a dream that I had. I told you this dream earlier this week.
Let's do it.
This was one of the weirdest dreams I had. And I hadn't had a dream in a long time, except for... I think the last time I mentioned a dream, it was last week. But I digress. So the other day, I had a dream about I went to this dance. I don't know where it was located. I don't even know what the theme is, but for some reason Joey McIntyre shows up at this dance and asks me to dance with him the entire time. I'm like, oh sure, yeah. And I thought, hey, that used to be one of my celebrity crushes. Why not? You know. He wasn't with any. He wasn't in my dream. There was nobody with him, so I'm like, okay, sure. So we dance. We have a good time for the most part. I couldn't remember what else happened in that part of the dream, except that there was a lot of people and we were dancing. Then fast forward to the end of the dream where I leave the building by myself, and guess who I run into?
I already know, so I shouldn't guess.
As I leave the building, right outside the door, there's Cirroc Lofton, who played Jake Sisko on Star Trek DS9. What we talked about, I don't remember, but it was just weird that he was there.
He seems like a nice guy in interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. Who interviewed him? But
Well, he's been on different shows in relation to Star Trek and whatnot.
Okay.
I often wonder about people like him because to me, I would consider Cirroc Lofton maybe not an A-list celebrity, but definitely famous, right?
Yeah.
Do most people think of him as this big star, or do they just think of him as, okay, he's some actor I may have seen in something? I think most people would fall into the second camp. But to me, he's like a big star.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, do you think that he feels like he could be living in the shadows of his bigger co-stars, like, Nana Visitor?
It's possible.
But maybe he doesn't think that way because he just, he enjoyed working on the show, and even though, like, he maybe wasn't as big as Avery Brooks or Armin Shimmerman, then, maybe he's okay with that.
He could be.
Yeah, he could be one of those people that doesn't want to, like, have a lot of attention drawn to him.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. That's good.
That's
good. But he doesn't live in Ethiopia.
No. I thought he did because on his podcast he said something about Ethiopia, But then I listened to another episode, and he said he lived in L.A.
Okay,
Yes.
that's farther from Ethiopia.
Yes, I know.
By the way, Ethiopian food is really good.
I know. I've had Ethiopian food.
Yeah, it's good.
Good stuff there, Jaylo.
It is. The sauces are really flavorful.
Oh, yeah.
And they're so filling.
The injera.
Injera, yeah. It's really filling.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's just say after I had, like, a bunch of those pieces of bread, I took a very good nap. The Ethiopian lady who will not be named took me out to lunch because I was helping her with her screen reader, how to use it.
Maybe I need some Ethiopian food, and that'll help me fall asleep.
No, it didn't actually put me to sleep, but just the fact that it was filling.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know how, like, when you're full, the one thing you want to do afterwards is go to bed?
I've heard that from people, yeah.
It's true.
Mm.
It's like you feel like you have a food baby in your tummy, but you want to go to sleep.
A food baby.
Food baby.
Food baby.
Food baby.
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 Alana,
Yes.
we
Yes.
figured out a way
Uh-huh.
for you to get books off of Bard.
Well, I already knew about it.
But I didn't know about it all the last year or whatever. 8 months. You've been saying, I can't get books off Bard.
Okay, so I should explain this to everyone listening.
Go ahead.
Bard Express, for anyone who doesn't know about this, is an app where blind users can get books quickly onto their onto their devices. And the Bard website is a website where you can download books and do the same thing. Well, there is a way to do it. The Bard app that I do have on my computer is the latest one, but there's been some technical issues with that one. I won't go into it. And so what I did was I used another software that I re-downloaded onto my PC, and I was able to make it so that it picked up on my device that was plugged in, which it goes together with that, and I was able to transfer books. It just took a while, but I remembered how to do it. The Bard app is quicker, but I can deal with this for now.
I believe your device of choice is called the Victor Reader Stream.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I was under the impression that Bard wasn't working at all for you. And so yesterday I said, well, what if you went on their website and downloaded books? Only to find out that was always a possibility.
It was, yeah, I kind of put that on the back burner because I really wanted to have the new version of that same app, but it just was not working. I just couldn't make it work. And that would also mean that I would have to download another version of another software I have on my computer, but I just haven't been able to do that. But if they decide to get an upgrade to the app and it's much better and it doesn't need any extra software, then I'll download it. That's how I see it.
I love the way it works on iOS.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes, baby.
But maybe one day, eventually, if I get a smartphone, it'll be much easier and I can download the app on my phone.
Anything's possible, baby.
Do you have the app on your phone?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
I love it.
It's great, isn't it?
Yes.
You see, if I didn't introduce you to Bard, where would you be with your books?
I would be going through the 4,000 or 5,000 books I already had on various wish lists.
So you would be taken care of, but I think that this is going to add to your. I think that this is added to your list.
Yes, I have over 1,000 books on my Bard wish list.
And the great thing is that the same software I could use it to download Bookshare books.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. I love Bookshare.
Yeah, and I've got to renew my subscription. Bookshare's great.
It is.
And it's not just for students anymore.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
I know, and I've been using it for 8 years. Mm. So, what the wonderful things that technology has done. I mean, these are the two wonderful things that they have done. So, it's good.
So glad. And so you're going to go back to the Anne of Green Gables books.
I am. Yes, I have 3 more books to read. There's one book I'm trying to find, but I don't know if I have to look on Bookshare or if it's on Bard because I downloaded one book that has 3 of the books, but they're not in order. Except there's the first book, the second book, and the 5th book, but they're not in complete order.
Yeah, that's weird. Sometimes Bard will do stuff like that.
They'll cluster them together. It's kind of weird, but that's what they have done. And I'm thinking about going back into reading, looking for my Mary Higgins Clark books because I love a good mystery.
Oh.
Yes.
And at some point you're going to read a good book too.
Hey.
I'm just saying that.
Hey, you read a couple of books with me.
I did. No, we're going to read more books together. I'm actually very interested and hopeful about experiencing more literature with my girl.
I also want to read classics that I haven't gotten into, or maybe I started. Like, I read the first book of the Chronicles of Narnia, but I never read all the other stuff.
There's also Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
That's like a weird book.
Oh, it's such a good book.
That sounds is it a fictional book?
It's weird. It is, but it's loosely based on the author's experiences going around the parts of the country with his son.
Okay.
Yes.
Well.
His son later got stabbed to death in front of a Buddhist monastery.
Oh.
Or Buddhist temple, rather, in San Francisco.
Oh.
I want to say around 1980, which was about 6 years after the book came out.
Wow.
So, when I was in San Francisco years ago, I went to that spot.
Really?
Yeah. And afterwards, I felt kind of weird about it.
Oh.
Because I went to an area where somebody was killed, just based on the fact that his dad wrote a book that I really like.
Okay. That's a little bit odd.
Who is the author? Robert M. Persich, I want to say. Really good book. It's a strange book, but it's kind of heady, but it's really good.
It sounds heady. It has anything to do about maintaining a motorcycle?
There's some talk of that, but it's really about this father-son relationship, and they're both dealing with mental health issues.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty heavy.
It's fun. Maybe fun's not the right word, but
It's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, and I've read it like 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, babes.
Okay.
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 Okay. Is there anything you're looking forward to in the near future, Jaylo?
The movies.
Good.
Tonight.
Yes.
And remind me again, have you watched Meatballs?
Of course.
Okay, great movie.
Meatballs.
It's been a long time. And then I haven't watched Stand By Me in a long time, and I may have gotten the 2 movies mixed up because I think there are times where I think I watched one but didn't watch the other, or maybe I watched them both.
Yeah.
I believe I watched them both. Yeah.
Meatballs is great.
Meatballs. It has nothing to do with meatballs, really.
No.
It's camp.
Camp
movie.
Balls.
Yeah.
Camp Balls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be fun stuff there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next weekend, we might be doing a John Huston retrospective, assuming that you don't have anybody else visiting you.
No.
I'm thinking we do the first night is earlier films like The Maltese Falcon and The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. And then next Saturday, schedule permitting, we do, is it The Man Who Would Be King?
The King and I.
I'm sorry, The King and I. And
We're still trying to decide the other one, I think, right?
I'm leaning towards Percy's Honor. But we'll have a discussion about it later.
Percy's Honor?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it later.
Oh.
Yes. Unless you want to talk about it now.
Well, I was thinking Annie, but...
We've both seen it, though.
I know, but I like that movie.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with watching something we like.
I know, but we're watching movies this weekend that we've already seen before.
That's true.
I like the idea of exposing each other to new things.
Woo.
Yes.
And if we don't like it, we don't have to watch it again.
That's why Jaylo.
Yes.
Did you have any other dreams this week, babe?
Yeah, those are the only two I can think of.
Okay.
Yes. And I have had a great week of sleep.
Well, I'm happy for you there, Jaylo.
I just want you to have a good week of sleep.
This has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
And like I told you, maybe I'm giving out too much.
I think maybe you should.
You don't think I should say?
Maybe you could.
Okay.
If you want. I mean, it's up to you, really.
I was talking to my mental health professional. That makes it seem like I own one.
Yeah.
Buy one for yourself.
He's in the kitchen.
Yes. We're supposed to have another phone meeting in about 3 weeks, and he said if my sleeping doesn't start to get better, I might have to contact like a real doctor and get some medication. Because it's been going on for a little while, and it sucks having.
And I think it will.
Yes.
Because there are times where I would have like days without sleep, or maybe a week without sleep, and I just wouldn't be able to. And then all of a sudden one night I'm just like, I am so tired. My body's tired.
Yeah, and basically what he was trying to say is right now I'm dealing with a lot of stuff, as we all are. Mm-hmm. And there's so much to worry about that I don't need the extra pressure of trying to figure out how to sleep by myself. So it wouldn't be like a permanent thing where I'm just on medication forever.
Right.
And he even said it could be a naturopathic doctor who maybe just gives you melatonin.
Right.
But that's going to be on the table during our next discussion.
And there's other things like, I think St. John's wort is supposed to help with that too.
Oh, good.
I believe.
Oh, good.
St. John's wort. A lot of people are using like, and even the mugwort.
Yes.
Yeah. And lavender oil.
Oh, good, babe.
Lavender oil is good. It's supposed to be good for sleep.
Nice.
Just a lot of things that don't require medication, but we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get some good pills and I'll have an excuse to be crazy on medication for a while.
No. That'd be hard to deal with.
I'll have a psychotic break.
I'd be like, don't come over. Go back home.
Oh, what if you have psychotic breaks? So what if?
I don't.
I thought you did.
Who said that?
I thought you did.
No.
I thought you were like, I have psychotic breaks, okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Jaylo?
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I got a Walmart order today and it went very, very well.
You've been tipped the person, which you usually don't like doing.
No, I do.
Oh, okay, sorry.
What are you talking about? Of course I do.
Okay, go ahead.
The only way that I wouldn't tip anyone is if I didn't have the money to do it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, I very much like tipping people if I'm able to.
Nice.
But anyway, super good driver. Was there on time. I mean, and I almost thought I forgot something. I almost thought that he forgot something, but I had the wherewithal to look in one of the bags that I put in the recycle bin, and lo and behold, there it was. It was hiding.
Can we say what it is or no?
No.
Oh.
I'll just say they were nasal strips. There.
So you basically just said what it is.
Yeah, I just decided to say it was nasal strips,
Yes.
but that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway.
Yes. The state of Oregon thanks you, babe, for getting.
Hey!
Hey, Jaylo.
Hey!
What?
What are you trying to say? Don't answer that question.
Okay. I'm trying to say I love my Jaylo.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yes, babes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, it's fighting wood.
Oh.
Well, maybe it won't be. Anyway,
Yes.
That's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Very nice.
Yes.
I feel like I've been stuck on stupid today, but y'all know why.
It's okay.
I am also going to be getting a food delivery order on Monday from Instacart,
Yes.
which I've only used before for Costco. But Fred Meyer has these rice noodles that I really, really like when I'm making pad thai. So that was the inroad to getting.
Oh, Fred Meyer has. I love shopping at Fred Meyer's because they do have things that other stores don't. But I know Walmart has a bigger selection. But they have stuff that some stores don't have, and they also have a lot of deals.
The thing I don't like about this Instacart thing, babe. I almost said Walmart.
Yes.
Fred Meyer opens at 6 in the morning. But the earliest you can get an Instacart delivery, at least here, is at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I think if you had your way, and I joked about this, is that if Instacart or Walmart was delivering at 5 a.m., you'd take it.
That would be the earliest, but yes, I would.
Well, just be happy that 9 a.m. is when they start, because I mean, yeah, as much as you'd like to get it at 7 or 8 a.m., I mean, that's at least it's something.
Yes,
you can't complain about that.
That's right, Jaylo.
Yeah.
All right, Jaylo, do you think we're good?
I think we're great.
Before we go, because I am tired, I'm not sure I can still kiss you, but I want to give it a try.
You can.
Well, let me see. Let's see. First, get on my lap.
Okay, of course.
Get right over the area.
Oh. Okay. You're not tired enough to do that.
What? What did I do? I don't remember.
Oh my goodness. Stop it.
All right.
Okay. I think you need a nap. Do you need a nap?
If I can nap with my Jaylo.
Oh, we'll see. Okay, anyway, all done.
All right. All right. Stay real.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Until next time.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.